Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris and this is Good Cooking. One of the best ways to do your meal planning for the week is to do larger batches of base recipes. And what I mean by base recipes is a recipe that is very neutral in flavoring because it hasn't gotten a lot of specific seasonings to it. Today we're going to be doing basically a pulled pork, but what we're doing today is just going to be a base recipe. And it's going to be more of a braise for the pulled pork. It's going to take about 2 hours to get this recipe cooked all the way through, and you'll have a product that is going to be very neutral in flavor that you can kind of season however you want to. If you want to use it for tacos one night, you can do that. If you want to do it for pulled pork sandwiches the next night, you can do that. At the end of the video, I'm going to make a grilled barbecue sauce for the pulled pork and make some pulled pork sandwiches. That's going to be my lunch today. The first thing you're going to need is going to be a pork butt. So pork butt, the name of pork butt is a little misleading. It doesn't come from the butt of the animal. It comes from the shoulder. And sometimes you'll see it labeled as pork shoulder butt. But what it is it's a large chunk of meat that's right off the scapula of the animal. So when you buy pork shoulder, sometimes you get the bone in, sometimes you won't. It's easier if you get it boneless. It's a little less expensive if you get it with the bone in, and you can make stock from that or keep it for something else you want to use. I got a bone in, cut the bone out myself. We'll do the base recipe today. We're gonna make just a little bit of a mirepoix, use stock, sear the pork butt, get a nice little color on it, and then get it in the oven for a braise. So to get started, I'm gonna take the pork. You can see I've got my pork butt already cut into chunks. What you want are about 8 to 10 ounce pieces of pork butt. So they have plenty of time to cook and to get nice and tender and to fall apart. You don't want to trim any of the fat off there. That's something we'll take care of after we get it out of the oven. So first things first, we're gonna hit it with a little bit of salt and pepper. We're not gonna be shy about this. We're gonna get a good seasoning on it. Then I've got some fresh ground black pepper here. We're gonna try and get it all over there. And then whatever's on your cutting board or your sheet pan like I'm using here, just kind of soak it up so you get all that goodness on your meat. Now, with that seasoned, we're gonna set it off to the side. We're gonna wash our hands. When you're handling raw pork, it's just good practice to wash your hands every time you touch it before you move it into something else. So now we're gonna make the mirepoix. The mirepoix for us is just some more aromatics to help give it a nice round flavor. So we're gonna be using onion, celery, and carrot. Very traditional in French cuisine and when you're doing braises like this. So the traditional ratio for this, and you wanna do it in large chunks, so it doesn't have to be very fine cutting, just nice and big chunks. So I got 1 pound of onion, just under, but we'll keep the same. And then what you want here is, 1 part onion, half part celery, half part carrot. So I've got 1 pound of onion. I'm gonna do 8 ounces of celery, and then 8 ounces of carrot. And again, large chunks is fine. And then I'm also going to use for this just 2 fresh bay leaves. So that's our mirepoix made. Our pork has been seasoned with the salt and pepper. We can go straight to the stove now, and we're gonna start putting some color on it. So before we fire up our skillet, we're gonna add our mirepoix in. We're gonna have that just sitting on the bottom. It says so. Put that over to the side. It can wait for the pork as we get started. We're gonna get this on medium high. A little bit of oil. Let that get nice and hot. So now our pan is hot, and before we get the pork in the pan, I've set my oven to 350 degrees, so that's ready to go once the pork is seared and it's in the pot. We're ready to get this nice and brown on all sides. That's what we're looking for all the way around. Just that beautiful brownness. In the kitchen, professional kitchens, we call that GBD, golden brown and delicious. We're going to do that on all sides of the pork. So as these pieces get done, and they're gold all around the outside, I'm going to move into our pot. Now you don't have to use a pot. You can use a pan or whatever you have. I just like the pot because the size is good. It's got a lid. And it makes it easier to get the stuff in and out of the oven. You can see all that extra fat that's melted off the pork from the last batch that we did. And that's why I say don't worry about trimming it up, because a lot of that will just melt off as it goes through the cooking process. So you can see I've got the mirepoix that we did, the onions, carrots, celery, and bay leaf. I've got all the pork we just browned. Looks beautiful. Now I'm going to add 4 cups of chicken stock, and 4 cups of water. I'm going to add a little bit more salt. And we can take it to the oven now. So the pork's in the oven now. We got about 2 hours. So while we're waiting for that, I'm going to go ahead and whip up the Carolina BBQ sauce. The Carolina BBQ is a mustard-based sauce, so it's a little bit more tart, not as sweet, and it's more of a golden color, not quite such a dark red like you see with traditional barbecue sauces. All right, so for this barbecue, we're going to do yellow mustard. It's 3/4 cup. Just regular straight old ketchup. Quarter cup of brown sugar. A half cup of honey. A half cup of apple cider vinegar, 2 tablespoons Worcestershire sauce, 2 tablespoons hot sauce, 1 teaspoon garlic powder, 1/4 teaspoon cayenne, and about a half teaspoon salt. Set to medium high. We're going to let this simmer for 10 minutes. A little more salt. Taste. Ooh, that is really good. This has been going for 2 hours now. We're going to take it out, see what we think. Let's see. Oh, beautiful. Just pulls right apart. Perfect. So now we pulled the pork out. You can reserve that liquid. You could toss liquid if you want to. I like to keep it and use it for stock for either another batch. You can cool it and freeze it for the next time you want to make something like this. You could use it as a soup base, whatever you want. So you don't have to save it, but I like to. Have you ever seen these? These are bear claws. These are the best things for making, for pulling meat, such as pork or chicken, kind of whatever you want to do. They do a great job of just kind of shredding. And then when you get to those fat pieces, if you've got any pieces that are kind of left over, you can just kind of pull those out, leave those off to the side. But you shouldn't have a whole lot, to be honest with you. So there we go. Beautiful pulled pork. Take some of that pork. Some of the golden barbecue that we made. Maybe a little more sauce on top. Let's see what we got. That's a crowd pleaser for everybody. That sauce is great on ribs, chicken, pork, whatever you want to do it on. Just phenomenal. So that's the pulled pork. It's a very base recipe. Not a whole lot of things done to it. You can see I use the barbecue sauce to give it more of a flavor. But the base recipe itself, very neutral. So you can do, like I said earlier, if you want to re-season it with, little cumin, coriander, and some chili powder, and do, tacos or quesadillas or something along those lines. You're more than welcome to take that base recipe now and just kind of play with it and kind of make it fit the recipes that you like to do. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Hope you got something out of it. If you enjoyed it and you're gonna give the recipe a try, let me know down below. Leave a like on your way out. Thank you, good cooking, and bye for now.